Welcome students. Today we will start our next lesson number 6, the circulatory system. Students, in first lesson we learn about the plant's transportation. The water and minerals carried by this transportation, that is the transporting system. And the food prepared by the leaves is also transported by the phloem. Like that. So, we have to study about the human circulatory system. Students, both animals and human beings need food and oxygen to keep themselves alive. Without food, we are not able to live. Without oxygen, we are not able to live. These two are very important thing for us. Now students, simultaneously, that bodies also produce certain harmful substances and carbon dioxide. So that waste product and the useful substances like nutrients and oxygen, these are carried, transport with the help of the blood by a transport system. That is called as a circulatory system. The circulatory system consists of heart, blood and blood vessels which circulates the blood through the body and thereby helping in the transportation of the nutrients and oxygen. And students, there is removal of the waste product and carbon dioxide gas. Transportation is mainly carried out by the blood and lymph. In human beings and students, the blood is transported to all parts of the body by the pumping organ, and the pumping organ is the heart through the blood vessels. And students, lymph is transported by the lymph vessels which run alongside the blood vessels of the circulatory system. Now students, our next topic is the fluids of human body. And the first fluid is the blood, second one is the tissue fluid, and the third one is the lymph. The blood is transported to all parts of the body by the pumping organ, that is the heart. And this pumping organ is also helping for the transportation through the blood vessels. Lymph is also transported by the lymph vessels which run alongside the blood vessels of the circulatory system. So in that way, the circulation of our body is going on with the help of the blood, with the help of the blood vessels, and the pumping organ is the heart. And the students, here we completed the topic circulatory system. Now next topic of this lesson is the fluids of our body. The first fluid is the blood, second one is the tissue fluid, and the third one is the lymph. Now one by one we will discuss. So students, the first fluid is the blood contained in the heart and blood vessels. So the blood vessels are three types: arteries, veins and capillaries. Students, the first one is the blood. It is contained in the heart and the blood vessels. And the blood vessels are of the three types: arteries, veins and capillaries. Now the second one is the tissue fluid. It occupies the spaces between the individual cells of the body, and so that it is also known as a intestinal fluid. And the third fluid is the lymph. It is contained within the lymph vessels and the lymphatic organs. So students, these are the three fluids of our body. And now students, our next topic is that how the circulation of the blood is going on in our body. With the help of the diagram, I will explain. Now students, this diagram is showing the diagrammatic representation of blood and lymph circulation. Diagram shows a diagrammatic representation of the relationship between blood, tissue fluid and lymph as they circulate in their respective vessels or spaces between the cells in different organs. Now students, it is clear from the diagram that blood in our body circulates in a closed manner. That is, all the time through blood vessels. The blood flows through blood vessels and its flow is regulated by the heart. The heart, acting as a pump, pushes and receives the blood to and from the whole body through the blood vessels. Such a type of blood circulatory system is called as a closed vascular system. As opposite to this, in certain animals such as insects, the blood mostly flows through open spaces. This type of blood circulatory system is called an open vascular system. Here, blood flows from the heart to the body tissues without vessels. And apart from the transportation of substances and the removal of metabolic waste, circulatory system also helps in maintaining the body temperature, protecting the body from certain diseases, and regulating the activities of the body by transporting hormones. So students, you will better understand this situation with the help of this diagram. The diagrams are showing the lungs, that lungs is giving the oxygenated blood. That red color is the oxygenated blood and blue color is the deoxygenated blood. After that, heart, and after it connected to the blood capillaries, and after that deoxygenated blood along that side, lymphatic duct is there which carry the lymph, and lymph capillaries also showing in this diagram. So students, this is the diagrammatic representation of blood and lymph circulation. And now students, our next topic is the heart. The heart is the pumping organ. The heart has the size of one's folded fist and weighs about 225 to 340 grams. It is located in the center of the chest cavity with its tip slightly tilted to the left side. It is enclosed within a protective double layer membrane, and that double layer membrane is called as a pericardium. So, the space between the two membranes is filled with a fluid. That fluid is called as a pericardial fluid. And what is the function of this pericardial fluid? This pericardial fluid, it protects the heart from shocks, jerks and any mechanical stress. So students, heart is very important organ to us. The main function of the heart is to receive and pump blood and to keep it circulating in the body through blood vessels. Students, internally the heart is divided vertically into left and right portion by a membrane, and it is also called as a septum. Each half is further divided horizontally into two chambers. Upper chamber is called as a auricle and lower chamber is called as a ventricle. Therefore, heart has 4 chambers in all, 2 auricles and 2 ventricles. And students, these auricles are called as a receiving chamber because these auricles receive blood from the different body parts. They are smaller and have thin walls. And the verticals on other hand are the distributing chambers because they pump blood into the lungs and blood vessels that distribute the blood to all parts of the body. Ventricles are large and their walls are thick, elastic and muscular so as to efficiently pump blood to different parts of the body. So students, what I showed now, the figure of the heart, it is like one folded fins, like that only, and it is situated in the cavity. So the and it is slightly tilted on the left hand side. And students, our heart is differentiated into the two parts with the help of the septum. That is the right part and the left part. And again this heart is having the chambers. So upper chambers are called as a auricles and downside chambers are called as a ventricles. So students, two auricles and two ventricles are there. That's why heart is containing the four chambers, because the right auricle is also there and the left auricle is also there, and right ventricle is there and left ventricle is there. And students, auricles are the receiving chambers, they are receiving the blood, and ventricles are distributing chambers, they are distributing the blood throughout the body through the blood vessels. So the blood is going on through the blood vessels to all over our body. And students, always remember, the main function of the heart is to pump the blood, to receive the blood and to push the blood, and the whole circulation of the blood is going on in our body through the blood vessels. So students, today we started the new lesson, the circulatory system. First we learn about the introduction of this circulatory system. Second point we learn which are the body fluids, that we learn blood, lymph and tissue fluid. Then third point we learn how the diagrammatic representation is there of blood and the lymph. And next we learn about the heart is the pumping organ. So students, here we completed our part first. Thank you.